So, hello friends. So, we now in this lecture we will discuss what is probabilistic reasoning in artificial intelligence. So, in previous lectures we have seen the knowledge representation and reasoning methods, logical representation, semantic nets, conceptual dependency, frames, and also we have discussed the forward chaining and backward chaining with suitable examples. Now, in this lecture, we will discuss what is probabilistic reasoning and why we need it. Since we know that the earlier methods what we had discussed, they required exact knowledge representation. That is why they are able to extract out the exact regions. When we have not exact information available, we have not the exact certain information available, but whatever the information is available, that has some uncertainty. So in that case, how we can do reasoning? So this is how the probabilistic reasoning comes over here. When we have such data which have a certain amount of uncertainty, it is not exact certain. So in that case, we use probabilistic reasoning. Just say here that it is a method, is a way of knowledge representation where we apply the concept of probability to indicate the uncertainty in the knowledge. So we can give some examples also. For example, if there is a match in between India and Australia, it will be organized, suppose today. So who will win? We cannot say exactly. So basically, the decision is uncertain. India can win, either India can win or the Australia can win. So in this situation, we can use probabilistic reasoning. Similarly, the behavior of someone for some situation cannot be predicted. So it is uncertain. So its certainty and uncertainty depends on how we calculate the probability. So probability based reasoning. Similarly, today it will rain or not. So it is not certain. So these are some examples where we do not have the complete certain information because there lies some uncertainty. So this can be handled to get out some logic, some reasoning, that is called probabilistic reasoning. So what probabilistic reasoning do here? Here we combine the probability theory with the logic to handle the uncertainty. So basically, it is a way to handle the uncertainty that is the results of someone's laziness and ignorance. So the above, whatever the examples we have taken now earlier, they are probable sentences for which we can assume that it will happen but not sure about it. So here we use probabilistic reasoning. So why we need probabilistic reasoning in artificial intelligence? There are some cases when there are unpredictable outcomes. The second is when specifications or possibilities of predicates becomes too large to handle. And the third one is unknown errors occur during an experiment. So let's take an example. We know that if there is a match in between India and Australia, and we cannot exactly predict. We cannot exactly say that okay, India will win the match or Australia will win the match. So what we will do, we will just do probabilistic reasoning over here based on some given previous facts and figures. So for example, some facts are given here. Based on these facts, based on this information, we can do some probabilistic reasoning, not exact reasoning, probabilistic reasoning, whether how much the chances are there to win the India or to win Australia. So for example, these are the information given. So if toss India wins, so 70% cases the India wins, then and 30% chances that India loses the toss. So if India wins the toss, then 80% chances that India wins, and in 20% cases the India loses the match. Similarly, if India loses the toss, then for 30% cases India wins, and for 70% cases India loses. So based on these information, we can have some probabilistic reasoning for these 4 questions. What are these questions? The first question is, can we find out the probability that India wins the match when India wins the toss? So if India wins the toss, so what is the probability that India wins the match? Similarly, probability that India wins the match when India loses the toss. And similarly, probability of India loses the match when India wins toss. And the fourth question is probability that India loses the match when India loses the toss. So basically, this kind of reasoning can be find out based on these information, probability based information, that is called probabilistic reasoning. So now we will discuss the Bayes theorem. So before discussing Bayes theorem, some important terms we will discuss over here. So what are these important terms? First is, what is probability? So already we know that a chance that an uncertain event will occur. So the value of probability is always lie in between 0 and 1. If the probability of A is equal to 0, it means there is a total uncertainty in an event A. If an event is occurring, so there is total uncertainty available in event A. In that case, the probability of event A will be 0. Similarly, probability of A will be 1 when total certainty is there in an event. So even in event A, if there is total certainty, then in that case we can say that probability of A is equal to 1. So now some other terms. So this probability can be defined as, so number of desired outcomes divided by total number of outcomes, and P naught A means probability of not happening event A. So definitely probability of not happening A plus the probability of happening event A, summation will give you 1 over here. So total probability is 1 here. Some other important term, prior probability. So prior probability means probability of an event, that is probability computed before observing new information. If we don't consider the new information, although the new information is observed, in that case whatever the probability comes, that probability is known as prior probability. Then posterior probability, the probability that is calculated after all evidences or information has taken into account. There is no scope available for new information after this calculation. So in this case, this is called posterior probability because it is calculated after all evidences or information that has taken into account. So basically, posterior probability is a combination of the prior probability with new information. So here we are also adding the case of whatever the newly observed information we get over here. Now next is before understanding the Bayes theorem, we should know what is conditional probability, and we should also know these terminologies: prior probability, posterior probability. So before Bayes theorem, we should understand what is conditional probability. Just see here, it is a probability of occurring an event when another event has already happened. So basically, this whatever the event is occurring this time, if it is dependent on some other event which has already happened, so this kind of probability is known as conditional probability. For example, let's say suppose we want to calculate the event A when event B has already occurred. We want to calculate the probability of event A. Not event A is dependent on event B. So we want to calculate the probability of event A when event B has already occurred. So basically what we are saying here, so here the sample space of event A is not universe, but it is now limited to the space where the event B has already occurred. So this is why this is called conditional probability. Then the probability of A under the conditions of B, this can be written as probability of A provided that event B has occurred is equal to probability of A and B, probability of A and B, probability of occurring both event A and event B divided by probability of B. So if we talk about simple probability of A, we don't consider the dependency on probability on event B. So in this case, the sample space will be universe. Just see this in this Venn diagram. If we don't talk about event B, we just talk about event A solely over here. In that case, the universe will be U, and just the probability of A will be calculated by number of occurrences of A divided by total occurrences. But here what we see, this is also dependent on the happening of event B. So just see here, there is another event B which is occurring over here, which has already happened over here. So this is the common part. This is the common part which says that the probability of A as well as the probability of occurring both A and B, this region gives you that kind of probability. This will help out us in calculating the conditional probability. So probability of A, provided that probability of event A, provided that the event B has already occurred, this can be calculated by the area of this one. Area of this one means probability of A and B divided by probability of B. Why we have taken divided by probability of B? Since when the occurring of event A, probability of A also depends on the happening of event B. In that case, the sample space of this is event A is now reduced to what? Is reduced to this one. This one is what? B. So instead of universe, the sample space gets reduced to B. That is why we have taken here in denominator as probability of B. So this is how the conditional probability can be calculated. PA by B is equal to PA intersection B, occurring of both A and B divided by probability of B. So this is how the conditional probability can be calculated. Just see, this can be easily understood by an example. Suppose in a class there are 70% of the students who like English, and there are 40% of the students who like both English and mathematics. Just see here, 70% of the students they like English, 40% are those students who like both English as well as mathematics. Then the question is, what is the percentage of students those who like English also like mathematics? Means this probability basically telling us that we have to find out the conditional probability. We have to find out the probability of percentage of students those who like English. Not only English, it also says that those who likes English also like mathematics. So if these two events are actually labeled by A and B, so what will be A and what will be B? So A is an event that a student likes mathematics, and B is the event that a student likes English. So what it says, the event B has already occurred. We are saying that we know that the percentage of students who like English, we already know that. This is given here, 70% of the students like English. This event has already occurred. So the B is given over here. We just have to find out PA/B. A is what? A is the event that a student likes mathematics. So basically we have to find out PA/B. Why? Because this B is given. This event B has occurred. This is already given. 70% of the students like English. So we have to calculate the A. So this is equal to P intersection B divided by B. P intersection B says that the number of students who likes both A as well as B. So A is what? A is mathematics, B is English. So both loving percentage is 4.4. That is 40%, 0.4. And probability of B, that is for English, 0.7. So this gives us how much? 0.57, and 50% students is coming for. So this is how the conditional probability formula can be used. Now we come to our important topic, that is Bayes theorem. That is also consider those who has understood the conditional probability, so he will be able to very easily understand this Bayes theorem. So now, what is Bayes theorem? So very important theorem known as Bayes rules. It is also called Bayes laws. It is also called Bayesian reasoning. So which determines the probability of an event with uncertain knowledge. Just see here, if we want to determine the probability of any event, but we don't have the exact information available, we have uncertain kind of knowledge available. In that case, we will use Bayes theorem. So this name was actually given behind the British mathematics who invented this, the Thomas Bayes. So it relates to the conditional probability and the marginal probability of two random events. Basically, this is a formula. Bayes theorem is nothing but is a formula which basically relates the conditional probability as well as the marginal probability of two random events, for example A and B. So it is a way to calculate the value of PB by A with the knowledge of PA by B, where both these are the conditional probabilities. Here B event has occurred, here A event has occurred. This is the probability of B provided A, this is the probability of A provided B. So basically, with the help of this, this gives a formula to find out the value of this based on this. Just see here how we can derive the Bayes theorem formula here. In earlier example, in conditional probability, we have seen PA by B is equal to PA intersection B divided by B. Just we have discussed earlier. So this can be written as, so this term can move here, PB will move here, so it will be how much? PA intersection B is equal to PA by B into P. PB will come here. So PA by B into PB. Now this is equation number 1. Now this is what? This is the probability of A by B. Now can we reverse it? Yes. Probability of B provided A. So this can be written as probability of B intersection A divided by probability of, just in place of B here, since divided, this is A is provided, so probability of A will come over here. Now this can be written as probability of B intersection A is equal to probability of B divided by A, B oblique A into PA. Just see here from equation 1 and 2, left hand side, both left hand sides are equal. P intersection B is equivalent to PB intersection A. Both are commutative, so both are equivalent. So by using equation 1 and 2, what we get? We get what? So this much is equal to this much. So here PA by B is equal to PB by A into PA divided by PB. This is what the Bayes theorem formula, where the left hand side term is known as posterior probability. Posterior probability, we have already discussed that definition. It is the probability of A provided that the event B has occurred. So basically, if A is considered as hypothesis, so we can say that the probability of any hypothesis provided that the event B has already occurred is equal to probability of B A, probability of event B provided that hypothesis A is true, into PA. This is called prior probability. In prior probability, in calculating the probability of A here, we don't consider the event B, the probability of event B. Now denominator is PB, that is the marginal probability. So marginal probability is the pure probability of an event without interference of any other event. So this is PB. Now just see here. So this probability is known as, actually this PB by this is known as likelihood. So likelihood is what? We consider that hypothesis is true. A is hypothesis. So hypothesis is true. Then we calculate the probability of evidence. What? Evidence B. Probability of evidence B. So A is hypothesis. B is the probability that B is the event that has already occurred over here. So this formula can better understand by some examples here. For example, we have played cards. We know that there are 52 cards. So out of those 52 cards, there are 12 face cards. And face cards are, examples of face cards are kings, queens, jacks. So basically there are 12 face cards. If we talk about number of king cards, so basically out of 52, there are 4 cards which are basically king cards. So out of 52, there are 12 cards which are called face cards, and out of 52, there are 4 cards which are the king cards. But just see here, all king cards are also face cards. So all king cards are the face cards. So the question is, can we calculate the probability of king card provided the cards are given face cards? So this is what the given. We are given whatever the cards are given, those cards are face cards. So we have to find out the probability of whatever the card we will pick out from those cards, that card will be king card. So we have to find out the probability of king cards provided that all the cards are face cards. So there are 12 face cards basically. Just see, we cannot easily find out the probability of this in simple probability formula. So this can be calculated by using Bayes theorem. So what Bayes theorem says that if this is labeled as A and this is labeled as B, so the formula says that the probability of B divided by A into PB divided by PB. Probability of B oblique A into PA divided by probability of B. So probability of B oblique A, B is what? Face. Oblique A what? King. Oblique king. Into PA, A is what? King. P king. Divided by probability of B what? Face. So probability of face. Just see here formula. Here formula. So probability of B, that is face, oblique A king and B face. So this is how we can transform this Bayes formula into this our required formula. Just see here, what is this probability? Probability of face oblique king. What is the probability of face card? What is a particular card which is, what is the probability of any card that it is face card provided that all the cards are king cards? Since we know that all king cards are the face cards, so definitely probability will be how much? 1. So it will give 1. Why? It is said that all the given cards are king cards. So what is the probability that if any card we pick, that will be face card. So probability will be 1 because all the king cards are the face cards over here. So it will give us 1. Now probability of king. This is the basically prior probability without considering other event. So out of 52 there are 4 cards, so probability of king card will be 4 divided by 52. Now this is P face. P face says this is the marginal probability, pure probability of evidence. So out of 52, how many face cards are there? 12. So its probability will be 12 by 52. So this will give us the 1 by 3. So basically this is how we can find out this kind of probability based reasoning problem using the Bayes theorem. Now just see, this Bayes theorem formula can be extended into some other formula. Suppose there is an event A which is not a single event. So event is what? Event is a set of k number of mutually exclusive events. So event A has a set of A1, A2, A3, AK. Basically there are k mutually exclusive events are there. So this formula can be transformed into, so we can write P of B is equal to P of A, since A is also dependent on B. So because we are just finding out the conditional probability. So A and B are not independent. So they are dependent on each other. So this PB can be written as P into A into PB divided by AI. So where AI is what? AI is the element of this mutually exclusive set of event A. So PA into PBI. So in formula we can replace this PB. So what we get in formula? So just this is our formula. So we are replacing here A by AI. B is equal to PBAI into PAI, and this PB can be replaced by the summation of these terms. Summation of what? PAI into PBAI, where I varies from 1 to k. Why 1 to k? Because A is a set of k number of mutually exclusive events, A1, A2, A3, AK. Just see here how we can use this generalized Bayes theorem formula in our example here. So there is an example, we can have a quick look here. So a person is moving from house to office using 3 ways by car, train, bus. Basically there are 3 medium through which a person can travel from his house to office. He can travel by car, he can travel by train, he can travel by bus. So probability of all three are equal. So probability of all three mediums are equal. So probability of car, probability of bus, probability by traveling by train, all these three are equal. So probability will be how much? 1/3 over here. Just see. Probability of all three are equal. Probability of getting late such that he is traveling by car is 0.3. If he is traveling by car, the probability of getting late is 0.3. If he is traveling by bus, the probability of getting late is 0.4. If he is traveling by train, then the probability of getting late is 0.1. So basically, probability of getting late, provided that he is traveling by car, this is conditional probability. Just see here, the application of conditional probability. The probability of getting late, provided that he is traveling by car, that is 0.3. Provided of getting late that he is traveling by bus, provided that he is traveling by bus, that is 0.4. Probability of getting late that he is traveling by train, that is 0.1. So all these three are given over here. So now it is found that he is late today. So this is the event that has already occurred. So this is basically B. So this is A. So it is found that he is late today. So this event has happened already. So what is the probability that he is traveling by using the bus? So this is the event A. So this is event A and the B is given. So we have to find out P A oblique B. So A is what? A is bus and oblique B. B is what? Late. So we have to find out the probability of the person who is traveling by bus, and the provided that he has late today. He is late today. So this can be calculated by the formula PL by B, late divided by bus, into PB divided by PL by B into PB plus by train here by car. So all these three, since it has a three events, A1, A2, A3. A1 is by bus, A2 is by train, A3 is by car. So these three are summing up over here, and what we get here, the probability of evenness, that probability that he is traveling by using bus, provided that he is late, that gives you us 0.37. Thank you very much.